Hi everyone, I'm Anquanette Crosby. On today's show, we're spotlighting the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. It's a spectacular structure from its terrace views to the Hall of States to its grand foyer, which can hold 2 football fields. In 1963, Congress designated the center as a living memorial to President Kennedy. It opened its doors to the public in September 1971. The original architect was Edward Durrell Stone, who also designed Radio City Music Hall and the Museum of Modern Art in New York. The day after it officially opened, the New York Times called it a, quote, gigantic marble temple to music, dance, and drama on the Potomac's edge. The Kennedy Center has more than 2,000 productions a year, and we'll highlight one of its major contributions to our community, the Millennium Stage, later in the show. Also today, on today's program, we're listening, looking, reveling, and writing. That's the short version. More fun details in just a moment. But first, welcome to Artico, Art in Your Community. Our first story is, well, kind of sweet. Sarah Dwyer has loved chocolate-covered caramels since she was a child. And today, that passion has her living the sweet life as a chocolate designer and owner of her very own chocolate business. It's called Chouquette, which opened in 2010.
As a child, toddler, teenager, would ravage other people's unmarked chocolate boxes, squishing them all to find the chocolate-covered caramel. I would take bites out of them and put them back so other people would find a half-eaten chocolate in their box, and I would get into a lot of trouble for doing this. But all I wanted were chocolate-covered caramels. I spent most of my life in retail and finance, and in 2009 things went a little bit crazy in the banking industry, and I thought I was going to take a year off. So I moved to Paris and ended up taking classes at Le Cordon Bleu, which is a cooking school in Paris. I loved it, and I literally could not go back to the business world. I didn't want to sit at a desk. I didn't want to go visit banks. I wanted to make chocolates. A chocolatier can be one of 2 things. The first is the manufacturer. From large scale to very small scale, bean to bar, they take the beans, grind them, put them all together, and make a bar. I'm the second kind of chocolatier, also called a confectioner. So I take that chocolate and I mix it with things like caramel or almonds and ginger and rose to make either chocolate bark or to make chocolate confections, and all of ours are chocolate-covered caramels. We take the best ingredients and we slow cook the caramel, we use the best techniques, and I think then we make the best chocolate-covered caramels. We use a chocolate that comes from South and Central America. It's from a company called Guittard. We try our best to use ingredients that don't have commonly found allergens, and soy is one of them. We do use milk because we need to make cream for the caramel, but we also do 2 vegan versions, one with coconut and one with almond milk. Our colorants for the designs that are on the top of our chocolates are all derived from natural sources. So we just try to use things that look great, but also taste great and aren't bad for you. So a lot of times I'll start for the designs of the chocolate with a really crude drawing, something that just I think of, it's inspired by memory or travel or something local that I see. And then I work with a local graphic designer who takes my crazy scribbles and turns them into something beautiful. Actually, the very first designs that I made are for the DC monuments, and they're really popular. It's just nice to bring something local when you go out of town that's made locally. And now we do Maryland ones and all sorts. We do about 25 different flavors. So we do everything from almond, hazelnut, raspberry. A local favorite will be our Old Bay one. But really anything you can think of, we can put into a chocolate. We proudly employ people with mental and physical health problems. And I started out with just 1 employee, and really they're the backbone of my staff. It makes me really proud that we can give people jobs, not charity. We also do some seasonal flavors, and we have 3 flavors for fall, which are pumpkin pie, apple pie, and pecan pie. We do a lot of holiday designs, one we call holiday cheer, in November and December, and it's based on all the holiday drinks. All those tasty alcoholic treats we turn into chocolates.
The terrace level of the Kennedy Center houses 2 restaurants and 3 performance spaces. You also get great views of the Washington Monument, the National Cathedral, and more. For our next story, get ready to open your minds, close your eyes, and bob your heads. It's all part of the DC Listening Lounge experience. Artico got the chance to be a fly on the wall, so to speak, during one of their listening sessions. Once a month, these lovers of sound gather in living rooms and lend an ear to everything from snatches of music and dialogue to found sound.
Track number 3. Track number 3. Track number 3. Track number 3.
I got involved with DC Listening Lounge back in 2004. I was an intern in Washington, D.C. I was working for National Public Radio, and I heard from a colleague of mine at the time that there was this group that was meeting in people's living rooms to kind of talk about sound. When I showed up, I realized that this was even more than radio. This was thinking about sound as an art, sound as a reflection of culture, sound as community, as family stories, sound as just an opportunity to be more present with another sense that we don't necessarily take the time to appreciate.
There's a lot of interpersonal engagement with the medium.
Even though audio art as a medium is starting to get a little more attention, it's nice to feel like we have this really grounded, community-based, creative group of people that are really celebrating that sense of community as much as the art itself.
But for me, DC Listening Lounge has been an opportunity for folks to get to know each other in informal spaces.
I think the social aspect is an extremely important element of what makes this group work.
Sound Scene is our sort of big signature event that happens every year. In 2017, that was our 10th year, but Sound Scene is an opportunity for us to take some of those moments that happen here monthly and share them a little more widely. That was the initial inspiration, to be able to say, hey, these wonderful moments that inspire some really interesting conversation or thoughtful reflection, maybe other people would want to hear that or explore that or even create stuff on their own. It's evolved from there to become this event that's much more interactive. It's not just about listening, it's about creating sound, it's about manipulating sound, it's about playing with sound.
I specifically wanted to see what was happening in this room because it was a site-specific installation and I wanted to see what kind of sounds were going to be happening in here. So this floor in particular has been really lovely.
We've always had a mixture of live performances, interactive installations, so audio-based work where you can actually get your hands into it or get your ears into it and kind of change what's happening in some way. We always have a component that we call the Listening Lounge. We're always looking for ways to engage the public, to engage anyone, just to say hey, let's enjoy this. Let's live, more fully and delight in the fun of sound.
For a long time, I felt like such an outsider. And now it's I connect with more and more people, and through the Listening Lounge, our interest in sound may be weird, but it's also really important and beautiful, and we want to celebrate that weirdness and celebrate the stories that that we feel connected to, and the ones that we maybe not feel connected to, but we were really inspired by.
Artist Anna Tsoukalarkis was born in Kansas and went to grade school in Taos, New Mexico. Her summers were spent on the Navajo reservation with her family. Anna's artistic muscles developed at an early age, well before she received her art degrees from Dartmouth and Yale. Growing up, she worked alongside her father, also an artist, in his studio, learning to build and create.
I think early on, I definitely realized I was more of a three-dimensional person than a two-dimensional person. And I think, him being a jeweler, making different types of Native American jewelry, really informed that as well, that I really was a spatial thinker. I'm trying to redefine what Native American art is and what it can be, is that I think about the vocabulary used within Native art. the iconography of buffaloes, of teepees, that anything that's native has to be a feather or that has to be a certain color group, you know, dealing with pastels. And so I'm trying to go beyond that and trying to think in different ways and how can we grow that? And a lot of that comes to this idea that in order to evolve and grow our culture and keep it really vibrant, we have to add to it. We can't be stagnant. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I'm making different pieces. I think themes that I try to convey in my work deal with the evolution of Native identity, the creation of myths, and kind of legends, and again, like trying to grow these ideas of what myths would look like from the future. When we talk about, you know, different oral traditions that Native peoples have, they all are in the past. But what would that look like if we reversed it and thought about the future and what that could be? I just installed a large kind of outdoor installation sculpture in a place in Brooklyn, and all of the wood is from our family land on the Navajo reservation. To anyone else, they might look at it and see this structure and say, oh, it's just this kind of fort structure that looks like barn wood, it's old gray wood. But if a Navajo saw this, they would say, wow, it looks like a corral, it looks like home. Now, I definitely work more in installation and video. And so, but I also do photography. I'm starting to do a lot more drawing. And so I would say I have a preferred medium. It really just depends what material translates that the best. When I do performance art, it's kind of creating an art that takes action in a place or a space, but I don't like performing it in front of people. And so the way I present it is always through documentation, whether through photograph or video. Some artists that I really looked up to when I started making kind of more contemporary work were David Hammonds, an African-American artist, and he does a lot of sculpture and did performance. And I've always been in awe of his work, as well as Adrian Piper, and kind of a random Italian sculptor as well, Maurizio Catalan. It's kind of an eclectic group of artists, but three that I really, really looked up to. I think one of the challenges of being a Native American in the DC area is the Washington football team mascot. Especially raising 3 young Native kids in this area, it's hard because you're trying to raise them with strong connections to identity, strong connections to their culture. And you want, just like any parent, you want your children to grow up with a sense of confidence and just reassurance and be in a place that they feel safe. And how can we change this, and how can we hopefully help people understand that it's hurting our youth, that it's hurting our community. I haven't created a piece about the Washington football issue is because then I feel like I would be labeled as that artist. And that's something I try to separate the two. I feel like sometimes art becomes an avenue for protesting, and it is very viable in that way. But for this instance, I want more than that. I want it to be direct and meaningful and a little bit louder.
Looking for some things to do in November? Here are just a few. Arena Stage presents Nina Simone for Women. Through word and song, the play reveals how the High Priestess of Soul helped define the sound of the civil rights movement. Running now through December 24th at the Krieger Theater. You can now see Mark Bradford's 8 monumental collages on canvas at the Hirshhorn. The work is called Pickett's Charge. Each painting is more than 45 feet long. The project's inspiration comes from an 1883 cyclorama of the Battle of Gettysburg. You have plenty of time to see it. It's on display until November 2018. Gotta swing? Well, you can dance off your holiday meal on Thanksgiving Day. On November 23rd, Millennium Stage and the Gotta Swing Dance School presents the Thanksgiving Day Swing Dance Party. The evening includes live music and dance lessons. And here's a Did You Know? Did you know that November is National Novel Writing Month? It started in 1999 and is affectionately known as NaNoWriMo. Writers try to complete a 50,000-word manuscript from November 1st through November 30th. And now you know. And by the way, if you're attempting to do this, well, lots of luck. And in light of NaNoWriMo, check out these next two stories. The first one on a new pop-up bookstore, and the second, a profile on a center with a storied past. The Duende District is a new bookstore popping up around our area. Its focus is books by and for people of color. Duende District carries a wide range of books, from fiction and poetry to memoir and graphic novels. Until it becomes a brick-and-mortar store, Duende partners with community events as a pop-up.
Duende District is a mobile pop-up bookstore, which means that we partner with different businesses and organizations to build tiny, lovely, wonderful, warm bookstores within their existing space. And we move from different places, and it's the best way to reach as many communities as possible. I grew up in New Mexico, and I didn't want to just show up in somebody's community and just be like, hey, I'm here to build a bookstore, because I didn't have any natural ties to any DMV community. I wanted it to be something that was more organic. I wanted to be able to reach people, but also sort of trial the concept and see if a community really wanted a bookstore, and if they really wanted a bookstore like Duende District. We move all over the DMV. We've had pop-ups in Virginia, we've had pop-ups in Maryland. We've been in Brookland in DC. We've been in Tacoma Park, DC. It's been really successful. Like, I kind of didn't know what the idea, how it would go. I really wanted to be able to transform existing spaces into these really beautiful, wonderful bookstore spaces that everybody feels really wonderful in, but that we just carry books by authors of color. And the staff is majority, and at the moment, completely, people of color. People can find out more information about us at our website, which is duendedistrict.com, and we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and it's at Duende District. I'm heading toward having a brick and mortar. I don't think I really want to have a large brick and mortar, but I always want to be partnering with people. The community is the lifeblood of any independent bookstore. And Duende District is about building community and being a part of that community. I'm very excited about this event. It's Gowrie Kay, who is a local performance poet and activist, and she has been on poetry slam teams.
And it's called How to Enjoy Your Vacation to a Country That Says It Won the War. While planning your journey, accept that ethics are not included in the price of your ticket. Tell yourself your currency is helping the country. Do not question government control of the tourism industry.
I'm really excited about this year-long pop-up that's coming at the Anacostia Arts Center. It's gonna be with Mahogany Books. We'll be setting it up and starting in mid-November. People might have heard a lot about Anacostia being a book desert, which it is. It doesn't have a bookstore at the moment. Being able to have this year-long pop-up in kind of a bookstore space, as well as having events and programming, will be able to provide the community with a bookstore experience. Every community deserves it, and being able to provide that is absolutely what Duende District's mission is.
In 1976, a group of writers and book lovers formed a nonprofit literary space in the DC area, and the Writers Center was born. First housed in Glen Echo Park, today it showcases and grooms writers from this spot in Bethesda, Maryland, and supports efforts like the Duende District pop-up. The organization has a national reach and produces America's oldest poetry journal, The Poet Lore. Some of its contributors include Walt Whitman, Paul Laurence Dunbar, and E. Ethelbert Miller.
The mission of the Writers Center is to cultivate the creation, publication, and marketing and presentation of literary works.
The first thing that we do is in-person and online workshops in various genres. We have poetry, nonfiction, fiction, memoir. As far as programs, we have a membership program here that includes our in-house writer studio space. We have the Write Who You Are program, which I love, and it is people who are just learning English, and they are writing poetry for the first time in English. And we also publish 0-30, which is a literary journal for service people, veterans, and their families. We do have writing coaches that you can meet and hire through us. They're typically our workshop leaders that are published authors, and we do also have the private studio space that you can rent to come if you're working on your book. Our workshops and online workshops do have a fee associated with them because they're taught by like a professor or professional. We do have many free events at the center. A lot of times on Saturdays we'll have sometimes free writing workshops. We have our open door readings. Those are free on the weekends.
Voicemail. What if I would ride my big wheels down the drive too fast, head first into the chaparral, and I'd steal myself from them, scratchy, having felt the pulse?
We have writers groups that come and meet here. We do have a teen writing workshop, and we do also open mics.
If you're looking for more information, you can go to writer.org, and you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It was a great honor to be a part of Bethesda Magazine's Best of Bethesda 2017, and to be an editor's pick was an even greater honor, just to know that we're recognized by the community that we're serving. We want to bring new, innovative, and exciting new workshops and opportunities and events to the community, and we hope that we can be nominated again for a 2018 list.
And before we bring you our last story, here's another Did You Know? Did you know the Kennedy Center has 3 main theaters, the Concert Hall, the Opera House, and the Eisenhower Theater? In 1958, legislation put forth by President Eisenhower helped create the center. The Eisenhower Theater honors his vision. But for our next story, we're going to talk about another Kennedy Center venue. For more than 2 decades, the center has maintained its mission to keep the performing arts accessible to everyone.
It started on March 1st, 1997, so it was a whirlwind creation of a program, and it's now sustained for 21 years. We present music, dance, and theater. Within music, dance, and theater, we are presenting all genres that we can. We live stream the Millennium Stage performances every night. We maintain a fully searchable archive of all of those performances, so it's really a treasure trove of all kinds of arts performances. And we stream to Facebook Live. The other work that comes to the stage is really about connecting to our community here in DC. So the artist on stage tonight is a fantastic example. Goldie Patrick is a theater maker and arts leader here in Washington that we have worked with for years in a variety of different capacities, and she has a new original work for the stage, and we're presenting it here on Millennium Stage tonight.
I'm super excited to be presenting Small Water Woman. It's a live interactive reading of my second book of poetry. It's a combination of photography, which is featured from the photographer David L. McDuffie, and it's also alongside music sung by 16-year-old vocalist Autumn Mitchell. So together we braided our mediums, and we have put together Small Water Woman Live. The majority of my work is presented in Southeast DC. It's catered to our audience. We are working tirelessly to build a community of audience members that are, for the most part, Black women and Black girls. So being able to present Small Water Woman on Millennium Stage in front of a new audience and bring my audience here too, it's nothing quite like it.
Arts education is central to the Kennedy Center. We are actually the largest arts education organization in the U.S., and locally we bring a lot of our constituent organizations to perform on Millennium Stage. We are so fortunate in Washington to have coming through Washington, either because embassies are bringing incredible international artists to town, or other clubs and venues are bringing other artists to town, and we're bringing them to the Kennedy Center for a performance on Millennium Stage.
The Kennedy Center has done an amazing job of cultivating relationships with local artists that have connections nationally and globally. And what happens is these local artists are able to develop their work and present it on Millennium Stage, but also invite their colleagues and their comrades from other cities or other nations or other communities to also do the same. It's a great opportunity to build bridges across communities and audiences and artists.
If there's one thing that we want everyone to understand about Millennium Stage, is that among all Kennedy Center's programs, Millennium Stage is very much a daily embodiment of our mission to present the full range of performing arts that make America what it is.
Well, we've run out of time. A special thanks to the Kennedy Center staff for allowing us to hang out with them for a while. I'm Anquinette Crosby, and until next time, always remember to follow your art.
This program was produced by WHUT, Howard University Television, and made possible by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.